Hello, everybody. This is Pastor Willie, and this is the encouraging word for today. We're looking at wisdom from Jesus's brother, James. Now, during his life, he did not believe Jesus. During Jesus's life, James was not a follower. But after the resurrection, he realized that his older brother, half-brother, was who he said he was. He was God in the flesh, and he became one of the leaders in the early church. And God gifted him with a special gift to write wisdom from God, not man's wisdom, God's wisdom. And so the book of James is known as a book of wisdom. And we're going through it, and we're taking out gems, if you will. Gold, silver, diamonds of wisdom, little parts of wisdom, and we're putting it together because life is full of traps. Satan sets traps. Life is full of choices. Life is full of temptations. Well, you all know you live suffering everything, and without wisdom, we would be like a ship on a sea in the perfect storm with no hope of rescue. But thank God he gives us books that have wisdom in them. And James is a book of wisdom. We often think of wisdom as deciding what to do. But a lot of wisdom relates to what not to do. And I believe even more wisdom relates to knowing ourselves. And we're going to look at that today. In James chapter 1, verse 14 and 15, James says this: "But each person is tempted when they are dragged away by their own evil desire and enticed. Then, after desire has conceived, it gives birth to sin, and sin, when it is full grown, gives birth to death." That's the road that Satan wants you to take. That's the road he entices you to take. You see, the destination is death, brokenness in this world, and eternal death forever. That's Satan's goal. But he doesn't start that way. He starts with temptation. Now, he says right before this that when we're tempted, and we all are tempted, everybody. He says, but when each person is tempted, we're all tempted. If we deny that we face temptation, we're definitely not people of wisdom. Denying reality is never wise. Denying who you are is never wise. Denying that you face temptation is never wise. So he originally, right before this, in verse 12 and 13, he's talking about temptation. And he said, but no one, when they're tempted, should say, God is tempting me, because God does not tempt anybody. So temptation doesn't come from God. So where does it come from? It comes from Satan. Comes from Satan. There's something that tempts us, but that's the external to us, tempts us. But something inside of us is what is tempted. There are things inside of me that are tempted by certain situations. Anger is one, using my anger in an improper way, being impatient and using that impatience in an improper way, and some physical temptations that I face. But that comes from within me. But Satan offers an external stimulus, an external circumstance that connects with what is inside each one of us. And here's the thing. What is inside of me is different than what is inside of you. What is going to tempt me is going to be different than what is going to tempt you. And yours different temptation you will face than somebody else. Something that tempts me may happen to you, but it will not tempt you in the least. The example I always use, you could put a mound of cocaine here. It wouldn't tempt me in the least. But there are other people who that is something that will tempt them, and they will go in that direction. So wisdom is not denial. Wisdom is reality, dealing with reality as it is, not as I would like it to be. That's from NA and AA. And that includes the reality of me, reality of you. You are a broken person. You face temptation. There are things that tempt you. And guess what? Satan knows what they are. He knows. He studied. He knows what tempts you. So we get tempted when we're dragged away by our own evil desires. So say he offers something that will tempt you. Maybe it's to get discouraged. Maybe to get revengeful. Maybe to get bitter. Whatever it is, he offers that situation. And you're enticed to go in that direction. Then, once that desire rises, it gives birth to sin. We act on it. And we do what the temptation is calling us to do. And sin, when it's full grown, gives birth to death. It leads to death. I've seen unforgiveness lead to bitterness, lead to resentment, lead to a poisoned heart and a broken person. And you can play that out in any type of situation. Lust consumes a person after a while, and they become just this person consumed by lust or alcohol. I mean, you see people lost in addictions and brokenness, and that's the end. That's what Satan wants. But it starts with that temptation. So what is wisdom? How is this a matter of wisdom? Number one, not to deny that you face temptation. And number two, know what is going to tempt you. Know your temptations. See, he says, each person is tempted when they are dragged by their own evil desires. So know those evil desires within you. Know them. Don't deny them. Don't pretend they're not there. Know them, and then protect yourselves. Maybe there are some situations you should avoid. Maybe there's some people you should avoid. Maybe there's some places you should not go. Wisdom is to know your weakness. Wisdom is to protect yourself, from your own weaknesses. Foolishness is to pretend you do not have weaknesses and go headlong into those situations that will tempt you. Just read Proverbs chapter 7 for an amazing story and illustration. So wisdom, James is telling us, is to know yourself, know your weaknesses, and protect yourself from those situations where those weaknesses will be exploited by Satan. And don't go down that road. Don't even take the first step. You know what that road is. Better yet, be wise and avoid that road. Take another route and avoid that road. So I hope this has been super practical, because it's a matter of life and death, literally. Know yourself, know your weaknesses, and protect yourself from your weaknesses being exploited by the evil one. God bless you. Have a great, great weekend, and I will see you on Monday, God willing.